Stream up and gonna advertise. And then starting today, I'm going to start having the sessions that we've been recording be up on the YouTube channel since we've been doing this consistently enough. And I think it would be good for people to be able to catch up. If everything, I might even actually ask Ryan to, because I asked her to like work on a logo and like a title print. I might push for Ari to work on that today.
Yeah, I have an idea of what I want to do. I just haven't had the time.
No, it's good. We should start looking into getting that done because I'm gonna start publishing the sessions uncut on the YouTube channel soon, so that people can catch up. All right, let me go ahead and grab what I need.
I just realized I have a ton of hero points.
We all do. Because we decided we won't back down.
And I won't back down.
Fuck you, Dargan. We found family.
Hell yeah.
First.
That's gonna be the
Markov
real.
is still willing to kill all of you for a corn chip.
How dare! Wait, what kind of corn chip?
Like one of the good ones with like lime infused in it.
Nah, not worth it. Fuck Markov.
Fuck Markov.
But yeah, I didn't want to get too lost in the woods of doing shopping episode. Although I know some people really like those. I was concerned that we would get too lost in the woods with it. However, but there's also not really another good time for us to get together to do this.
Yeah.
So I eventually just kind of said, "Fuck it, let's make this fun." Since half the fun of how I run my games is that I have enough prepared to go on an adventure. The dice dictate everything else. And pull up the Pathfinder name generator, which thank God that website exists. It has become a lifesaver.
Basil, what's the author's name of the books that I gave you?
Yeah, the author's name is Madeline Hale. Hail to the queen, baby.
Okay. I typed in Madeline Hale, and I saw obituary after it, but it was Madeline Haley.
Okay. Ooh,
I was like, oh my god.
we have collector's items now.
It would be best that thought that first.
To the E-base.
No, fuck that. I'm keeping it.
Baz is that motherfucker that tried to trade. What statue was it? Fucking. It was some guitarist, but tries to trade guitarist for actual stuff from Walmart.
Wait, what?
Oh, you didn't hear about that when the pandemic first started?
No.
Someone tried to trade a fucking small figure of a guy that just like died for stuff in Walmart, and like the cashier was like, "You fucking kidding me, bud?"
Okay, I just want to point out that no, I would not be that person. Thank you. These are jokes. 2, damn, that's fucked up.
Right?
Jerks, are they, Basil? How convenient.
Inconvenient. Alright, Ellie, alright, Cage, you guys also have to give your cringy anime, like, snobby laugh.
Oh,
You good?
damn it! Why'd you specify it that far?
No, Ellie, you have to. Peer pressure, peer pressure, peer pressure.
Peer pressure.
I'm so powerful I don't give into peer pressure.
Damn. Damn, that's a fucking mood. Cade, however, is
No, I'm-
is
for-
not.
For, for real though, I'm
prophecy
trying to
foretold.
think.
You want to see something that I can do for Ellie?
Yeah, what?
I'm
Pudding.
so scared. Shut the fuck up.
Pudding.
There's a story behind that.
Oh no, I'm aware of the story. Depending on what you want to do, would you like to tell the story? Because I'm ready to go on my end.
When I was in middle school, I was on the bus with some friends, and there was this guy who was making a bunch of stupid jokes. And I was laughing at all like every single one of the jokes, okay? And my friend was sitting like in the seat in front of us, and she looks at him, and he's like feeling pretty good about like all these jokes he's making. They're all bad, but I'm laughing at every single one. And she goes like, "Don't feel too good about that. She'll laugh at anything." Then she turns, looks me right in the eyes, and says, "Pudding." And I laughed harder.
That man's just entire day was destroyed.
Poor dude.
Completely.
Like, goddamn.
Legend has it he's never told a single joke since.
Absolutely fucking destroyed. Babe, what is the Dragon Lady OC that we introduced into the game?
Noir, Noir. I can give you her real name.
Nah,
Or-
like we'll leave that for later. Let that be a secret even for the GM.
I've literally talked to her about her in her real name before.
Yeah, babe, remember who your husband is.
I have to remind you to. I have to remind you to turn off the lights.
Yes,
Nothing
I'm not
rattle
gonna
around
remember
with
your I'm not gonna remember your OC's evil dragon name.
Nothing up there but a bunch of rocks rattling around.
It's a bunch of little acorns.
Yeah. I was
You
about
you
to
get a
say,
very like satisfying doodle-doodle-doodle whenever you like just hear the acorns.
Hey, Basil.
Mm-hmm.
Is there an easier way to add a new spell?
It's just
I
a
think-
drag and drop, Chief. What are you having struggles with?
Okay, we're fine.
Cause like I think on your character sheet in your spells, you should have an open slot, and there'll be a magnifying glass on the side of that slot, and it'll
Okay.
take you to the thing.
But I
Now-
might not.
Now,
I
keep
might
in
not
mind,
get a
at
new
level
spell then.
4, you might not get a new spell slot, but you can trade out whatever spells you have that you want to get access to.
That's what I'm gonna do now because that's Path Builder confused me there, because in Path Builder it gave me a new like spell, like a new spell, but here in like the actual game nothing popped up, so I just don't get a new one, which is fine. But I'm
Yeah.
gonna switch. I'm gonna change out a spell then.
Yeah, it's more like you can hit certain thresholds that allow you access to different spell levels, or rather different spells that you previously didn't have. However, that doesn't mean that like, oh, automatically it's like you do have to swap them out sometimes. You've had some good spells, goddamn.
I'm so scared whenever I become a spellcaster.
Spellcasting can be kind of overwhelming like in 5e, but I do think that people underestimate how fucking clutch and powerful spellcasters can be. We all saw what Rat did the last couple sessions.
It was terrifying.
Healed us all and then he fell forward.
Now, if I trade out my healing spell, we're not gonna be low on healing, are we?
No.
No, because I had talked with Miles about it before, and we agreed that Rat should be the dedicated healer.
Also, I now have a new class feat.
I planned on Rat being the dedicated healer. It's just during that first session, Rat didn't know he was the dedicated healer.
To be fair, no one had informed him.
Like Rat also didn't know that like dying was a thing that people had to look out for.
You didn't know dying was a thing in general.
People die when they are dead.
Okay.
Like it's like Kane.
what?
It's like Kane hitting Abel over the head with a rock. It's like I didn't know that would happen.
Stupid
No,
Shiro, don't you know that people die when they're killed?
Okay, here's my next
I love
question.
that
I
you said
just
that.
removed heal. I know what spell I want to trade it with. I don't
One friend said to
see anything.
Okay, so you removed heal. You like not just in Path Builder, you
Yep.
did it in Forge.
You're
Okay, yeah.
How?
Yeah, there's empty slot in first level, right?
Yep, there's an empty slot in there.
Okay, so at that point, let's see here. Oh, yeah, that's weird. It doesn't give you the ability to do that. So the very bottom there's add spell casting entry.
Okay.
Nope, that is not correct. Oh no, they updated shit and they changed things. I don't like when they do that.
Oh yeah, they did. What the hell? That's why I
Okay.
usually click the book at the top right and just search whatever spell I want.
Yeah, sometimes they like to change things and I don't like it. So over to the far right, where next to the game settings gear above your chat, it says compendium packs, or it should say compendium. You see it?
Haha. Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, and I'm gonna actually do it from my end as well on my player profile. We are gonna go ahead and so do you know what spell you're looking for?
Yes, I was wanting to get Shocking Grasp.
Oh, that's a good one.
Okay, so start typing in shock or shocking. I do see shocking grasp. It's like the very bottommost spell. You'll just drag and drop that into that empty slot.
Alright.
There you go.
Here it goes.
Cool. No, they definitely changed some stuff with one of the updates, so that's a little annoying, but we have workarounds. Okay, with that, is everyone ready?
Alright. Yep.
I do
Yeah.
believe so.
All right.
Yes.
Like before, I will be playing music in the background from Bardify, so that the people at home have some nice listening music. Otherwise, feel free to use your own music as necessary, folks. As that is said, welcome to Session 5 of Lock and Load, Breathing Room. Today is going to be the downtime episode, where we get to meet new NPCs and characters. The kind of way that I like to run my games as of late is to have just enough prepared so that there is a forward motion, but not going too hard on coming up with every single little tidbit, including NPCs, because sometimes your players just want to buy a sword and not make an 8-hour conversation out of it, and sometimes they want the random dying goblin to be their new favorite NPC. So this is, in a way, me giving up and also accepting I have to ad-lib more.
Ellie, do you remember Gugureg?
Yes, I do.
Oh, I remember the alchemist goblin that I stole the canister of magic from. That poor bastard. I think he's still sad he can't continue his research to this day.
What a monster.
Oh my God.
I am joined by my lovely wife, Ari, who is playing Markov. I have Ari and I mutual friend, Ellie, who is playing Zuriel.
Hello.
And then I have my favorite two chucklefucks, Cade and Worm, playing Rat and Master Sergeant Broderick Blacksteel, respectively.
I missed the part, but that's mine.
You're,
Trying to make the most horrible rat noise.
your
I don't apologize.
microphone
I just
didn't
heard the
pick up
littlest
any
bit
of
of
that.
The image of a chihuahua in my mind.
Just Cade just went full feral chihuahua, and we didn't hear any of that, Miles.
Just that, like, last
Good.
second.
None of you wanted to hear that because that also hurt my throat doing because I didn't practice.
Well, Worm, how are you gonna follow up that great performance?
No, violence is never the answer. It's the solution.
Nice.
You know what? Valid.
No one, I'll take it.
With that being said, last time we managed to fend off a trio of more professionally made androids created from a metal and sort of like mutation disease created by a metal dragon who was attempting to create perfection in all things, including himself. As our group managed to make them come to the surface in a much sooner fashion than they would have normally liked, the attack on Banaha Port began, and instead of running, our heroes decided to step forward, knowing they were essentially facing certain death. After a very surprising but brief attempt at scaring the dragon, we were given and bought enough time for a more powerful and famous hero, Barnaby of the Burning Light, to crash down from the skies and take on the dragon. We're going to...
Boy.
Yeah. We're gonna say that because no one is actually playing this character, and I don't want to just have everyone sit down while this cool OC essentially does all the work. The situation at hand, I'm going to put, is that the dragon is not slain in this moment. They are warded off, and thanks to the strength of Barnaby and their collected magics, they are able to either incapacitate or fully destroy those that the dragon has mutated into these cyborg or android-like bodies. Banaha Port then spends the next couple of days attempting to gather the injured, lay to rest who they can, and start rebuilding what happened to the port. At this point, news has reached Dragonfall, and more aid and guard have come in request to assist in what was going on. With that said, our characters are not forgotten about, as even though we were not the ones to ward off the dragon, we were the ones to investigate and act first upon the initial attack on the ports. With that said, we are being requested at our leisure, and to give the leaders of Banaha Port some time, to meet with the nobles and the hierarchy to gain both status and reward, as well as getting a chance to properly meet the hero who warded off the dragon, who has kind of been running around trying to clean up the last of these worshippers of the metallic wyvern. So my question for everyone... Oh, go ahead. Cade?
Ryan, you're gonna have to let me know if this is the perfect image for Barnaby. But all I think of when Basil said that is that Barnaby just has a sword like over the back of his head, and is just running like, "Get the fuck back here, god damn it!" As
that is 100% what I was imagining in my brain.
Get back here!
It's just like, come back here, vile heathens!
Stand still and let me smite you.
Why do they always run?
Why must they run? So with that, I would request and ask, is there anything anybody wants to do within the port before we run off and we go meet with the nobles, who I will be rolling on some dice to help us specify who the three main nobles are going to be character-wise, because that's the fun of how I run shit now.
I don't have anything specific I want to do, but I do want you to to keep in mind, ever since everything calmed down, Zuriel has been just not giving Wander a stink eye, but looking at him with the most puzzled look he could manage.
Okay.
And it's basically just been any time that there's been a free moment, Zuriel's just been looking at Wander like that,
All right, I would love to explore that with a little bit of RP, but before taking the stage, does anybody else want to do anything first?
I don't think so.
I don't have money anymore.
Marco was just gonna
Yeah.
follow wander around like a lost dog.
You're getting the same confused look, man.
I think
Excellent.
about the same, but Rat is just gonna like bandage himself up even more, and just like cover himself as much as he can, and hide behind Wander as much as he can because he doesn't want to run away from you guys now, but there's so many people, he is so terrified.
I think as much as... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Just noticing that I don't have healer's tools, and I need to fix that at some point.
That's going to be very easy to get. So with all that said, I think Locke is aware enough to not ignore his friends. And notice, one, Zuriel is giving them the most, like, the fuck is wrong with you vibe. And Rat does not particularly like being in large crowds. So, as much as Locke wants, like, 100% wants to milk all of this fame for what it's worth, he also recognizes he can do that in his own time. So, I think maybe, like, because Wander is 100% going out and making him and his family's name known. The Farflung Guild is getting a lot of free advertisement, and Locke is flirting with so many people. And if you might be asking, what's Locke's sexuality? Yes!
Yes.
Compared to his cousins, Locke is a slut and a hooer.
He may be a slut, but at least he's good at something.
It's amazing
least
for him, but it's
something.
also terrible for him with the spiky tentacles come in.
Listen,
What?
he knows his safe word. Also, tiefling bodies can take a lot of punishment. But when he's done just completely rizzing up the entirety of the port, he does find a spot for everyone to just collectively, quietly sit still and not have to worry about getting hassled by a lot of people. Primarily because I definitely see that Wander and Markov would always go to the diviest bars. Like, would always go to the places where you are either going to get hassled or you're not even going to get looked at.
I'm imagining that whenever Wander is trying to rizz up somebody, Markov was just standing right behind him with like that creepy ass grin,
Oh my god.
just making it a lot harder for him to get anything.
Wander just, which is also fine because Wander's really not trying to like get everyone into bed. He's just trying to play up his fame more than anything. With that said, everyone's kind of sitting at this tavern. It's a bit of a dive bar. The group is getting different looks, more so on the, wait a minute, are those guys the people that saved the port? Why are they here? The tavern owner. The tavern owner has absolutely no fucks to give. They're very happy with this turnout.
More money for me!
Exactly. With that said, Wander is going to look over to Zuriel and go, alright, you've been giving me this weird look for like the better part of 4 days. Do you finally want to speak, or am I just gonna have to learn how to like read your mind?
Why?
That is a good question that covers far too many topical answers. I'm gonna need you to specify.
Why would you just... Did you... This is gonna sound like, shitty. I don't know how to phrase this any other way, but did you think we stood a chance against that thing?
Not a snowball's hell.
So-
He coughs and like, oh, I'm a little drunk. Not a snowball's chance in every version of hell.
So why would you stand up like that to this thing that could just squish you, basically?
Well, I can only speak for myself. Maybe Markov, because Markov's got some issues, like kind of like he teases him. But as for me, I chose this life. My family comes from a very honorable and very well-respected guild of adventurers and mercenaries. I didn't have to go into this life, but, you know, good 5 or 6 years ago, I decided, yeah, this is what I wanted to do. And even if that dragon would have been able to kill me on the spot, which it could, that's still more than enough time to let civilians start backpedaling to get the fuck out.
Okay. I could respect that then.
Now, I want to be very fair to everyone at this table, except for Markov. Markov's already got problems.
Seth Rogen laugh.
I do not expect any of you to follow me into the jaws of death every time something happens, but it's a what the fuck was my voice? It's a family thing. Like, this is how I'm gonna bring respect and honor to my family name, which is the Wander Farflung Guild.
Brett, like, slowly raises his hand.
What's up, little buddy?
What mean? Rat don't know what respect to family mean.
Have
Ooh.
you been living in a cage for the past however old you are?
Daddy put me in a basement.
Wander,
Oh my God.
Wander slaps Markov's chest and like gives him that face of no fucking shit. Like this man has more problems than you.
Rat over here
Markov
saying, "I
shrugs.
in a room. A rubber
A rubber room.
A rubber room full of rats.
Stop.
The rats made him
No.
crazy.
You guys see once he does say daddy, though, he immediately gets like a small glimpse of a horrified face and like he said something wrong.
I also have daddy issues, don't worry.
I'm gonna reach over and just
No.
kind of like pat you lightly on the shoulder, Rat.
Mr. Evergrown, no like that word.
So, that's not really something I can give you an answer to immediately, Rat. But if you keep doing what you've been doing and you hang out with us, I think you'll be able to figure out what it means, 1, to have a family, and 2, to bring respect to it.
Markov kind of looks at Locus like he's gonna be our family.
I mean,
Rat snaps back up and says, "Rat have
We're-
family?"
We're adopting that one.
Wait, that's the one we're adopting?
Funnily enough, when Wander says that, Rat pulls out a small from his little very clean med kit. He pulls out a small book and he opens up to like the first couple pages and he says, "Mr. Evergrown, he raised me, he family," and it's research notes, just notes about biology, pathology, physiology, anthropology, just research notes of a doctor.
Wander's going to like put a hand on that stuff and like gently kind of push it down. He's gonna shake his head. Rat, one thing you're gonna learn is that just because someone raised you doesn't mean they're family. Family means a lot more than just that.
Rat tilts his head.
Excuse me.
Were you trying? Was Sarge trying to say something?
Nah, just clearing my throat. Forgot to turn down my mic.
Oh, no worries. Wander will then turn to Markov and it's just like, I mean, I adopted you and everything turns out fine.
That was your first mistake.
How long have you two been traveling together?
6 months.
It's about 6 months. Yeah.
Markov, nice guy. Not mistake.
slaps Markov in the chest. You're lovable, you damn bastard.
I kill people for a living.
Yeah, so do I, and I still get plenty of bitches.
Markov slaps him on the back of the head.
Bitches?
I killed on accident.
Your killing was, you shouldn't have done that killing in particular. You'll learn, buddy. You'll be fine.
Wait, so there's good killing?
If
But
you
you
are,
told me.
yeah. So I'm gonna say this to not hog the entire time. Wander will like use like utensils and different food bits to help express to Rat that the reason, because like Wander couldn't explain it earlier because too much was going on, but Wander's gonna do his best to explain to Rat the reason he was so mad was because Rat attacked when he should have waited because Markov was in danger at the time.
Zuriel's also gonna like look around and be like, "There's killing to kill, and then there's killing to survive."
That's
Or-
even that other one. Oh, I see.
Looks over to Zuriel, gives them like a very like yes exactly nod, then looks over to Markov, is like, see, it's like a very intelligent puppy but a very dumb child.
Markov's gonna grab you by the back of like your cloak or something and lift you up off the ground.
Oh,
goodness.
oh no, I have put myself into the jail.
Rat is part dog. Wander correct, but
Wa-
not
wa-
child.
Wander is 100% cackling at his own
No.
stupidity at this point.
I feel like Sarge is just like sitting off to the side, staring in abject horror at everything he learns about Rat.
I imagine that he's also technically the one sitting closest to Rat, and every couple of info, like, there's a slight scooch away.
It's like, because I feel like because Rat's existence is so antithetical to the world he comes from. It's like a sprawling, loving family with duty and honor, joins the military, serves with distinction. And then there's this thing who doesn't actually know what family is and has a really twisted view of itself and how it fits in the world. That's not right. It's getting worse.
That's not even going into the physiology of this guy. Like, I feel like with every word, Sarge just slowly like puts around his knuckles a black wrap because he's waiting for the moment he has to tie it.
Yes.
At that point, Wander will actually point to Sarge and go, "What about you, Sergeant? You got anything you want to add to this conversation?"
There's not enough alcohol in the world to help me come to terms with the things I've heard today.
Where are you from?
Yes. Anyways,
Me too, buddy.
just a decent-sized dwarven village. A bit of an offshoot, really. My family is a bit, I won't say culty, but culty.
You're a piece of shit. That's the left, you fuck. You son of a bitch.
This has upset Cade so much that his microphone is speaking like a motherfucker.
Fading away.
I sent him to the Shadow Realm.
Wander will kind of nod his head at this. It's like, nah, I definitely get that. We have a couple of rules kind of baked into my family so we don't get fanatical, but yeah.
Same, yes. Which I would be very proud of, except when I decided to join the military, they decided to go over my head and get me shafted into the medical corps. Because a black steel does no harm, apparently. And if the gods had wanted me to do no harm, he wouldn't have given me iron knuckles, now would he?
Nods.
I guess he wouldn't.
Nods in appreciation of this logic.
My family had one rule, and I broke that one rule, and now I can't really get back home.
What rule?
Don't leave the mountainside.
And look what you are now.
Wonder.
Yeah.
That certainly ain't the mountainside, I'll say that.
Mm-hmm.
So did
Or
you?
a seaside cliff, really.
So did you like just walk down a mountain, or did you jump off a mountain? Yeah, like seaside cliff logic.
I fell.
How did you survive?
Well, Zuriel just kind of like turns his gaze upward, and as he does, like his snake, who has been conveniently forgotten until now, just kind of like rests its head on his shoulder, and he goes, whatever God decided they wanted me to live.
Oh,
It was the Emperor.
oh, gross! You're deity chosen. I'm so sorry.
Eh,
Poor sap.
No. There's still
It's
hope
okay.
that maybe they were cursed with life by something infernal. We don't know.
no, I don't think it was infernal.
I am trying to
pretty.
help you.
Felt pretty divine. Here's the best part of it. Can't remember the guy's name.
Great.
Oh, this is some ancient. This is ancient deity unknowable name stuff. Okay, now I'm back on board.
That's what it usually feels like to wake up again.
Holy shit! You can talk normal.
And then Rat immediately, his eyes snap back and like point both directions after saying that, and his tongue flops out.
Markov
He
grabs
doesn't
Rat by
recognize
the
he
neck
just said
and like,
that.
what the fuck did you just say?
Zuriel has had like an
What did
arm
Rat say?
resting on this table, just like resting his head on his hand. And when Rat says that, he like slowly turns his head towards Rat with this confused and slightly horrified look. What was that?
Rat say?
You just talked like a normal person.
Talks like
Rat
a whole
always talk
man.
like normal.
Well, that's
Marco's
debatable.
just gonna stare at him.
Sarge just scoots a little further away.
You know what? Basil, what is the thing to fight against intimidation?
Um.
Because I want to see if Rat
Mel?
gets scared by Barkav.
So-
Markav?
Markav.
That's what Rat calls Markov now.
Markav. Okay, so technically, if Markov was actively trying to intimidate you, they would need to roll an intimidation check against your wisdom saving throw.
I can do a intimidation.
Yeah. So what's your wisdom save?
My wisdom save.
So it's gonna be your wisdom
Brain fart.
save plus 10. That's gonna be the DC they gotta beat.
19.
Okay, yeah, 13. So like they attempt to intimidate you, but it does not work.
So they just start having a staring contest. They're just looking at each other. Which is funny because one is missing an eyelid to blink and the other just has a forever 1,000-yard stare.
Great.
Like you can hear that staring contest echo out into the universe. I feel like it makes no
it.
sound, yet it is deafening.
At that point, does anybody else want to have the characters discuss anything? Because I'm wanting to kind of fade away from them all just being goofballs, and then we start inching towards talking with the nobles of Banahaw Port.
I think
Yeah, I'm
that's a
fine
good
with that.
idea.
Yep.
Alrighty, so let's open up. So once again, for those who are new to the stream, I use a book called the Mythic Game Master Emulator, 2nd edition. It is not AI, it is a rule book that gives me a crap ton of tables to work off of and come up with things as we play the game. This is also why you can hear me coming up with the story, but also actually playing the characters. I will come up with the adventures and the plots. Everything else gets made in universe in the moment, whenever it actually dictates to do so. With that said...
Hell yeah, fuck AI.
Yeah, man, fuck AI.
All my homies hate Ada.
8i. All my homies hate 8i! Okay, so we're gonna be going... So we're gonna go ahead...
That sounds like a slur.
Sound like a slur.
8i.
So we're gonna go ahead and roll 2d100s to get a description of the first noble.
Ooh.
Which is going to be a 12 and a 93. They are... carelessly... stylish. Foppish character! Foppish character!
Oh, okay.
Stripes and dots,
Okay.
polka dots. Stripes and polka dots.
Okay.
Baz,
Yes, you have an idea. No, you're not gonna...
That-
Are you?
That sounds like my boy.
Tack, 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 tack!
Tack, tack, tack.
Miles, would you like to explain to both the other players of this group who may have not known or remembered Tack, and the audience who we're talking about?
So, first off, what you all see is a slightly taller gentleman. He's around, I'd say, 6'1", and he has a very stocky build. He is well built, and he is wearing... It's like a mixture if you took a Wood Elf Scarmament and mix it with a High Elf Scarmament. It's not
Ooh.
much, but it is colorful, it is bright, it has a bit of jewelry on, he has a couple rings, that one particularly on his third finger, and he looks like he has primed himself up as best he can for this moment. And the most horrifying thing, however, is his face.
She's beautiful.
He's a little too beautiful.
I did just send a picture that I did of the commission you got from me forever ago.
Ooh, I will...
Seeing him again makes me so fucking happy.
Oh, I'm 100%... See, this is why, folks, I love using the GM emulator. It allows the players to really interact with what's going on, too. I'm going to go ahead and show this character off in OBS. Keep going with your description, Miles.
I will say, for chat, that jewel is hanging right off the center of his chest as a necklace. It looks like a large sprouted tree, beautifully grown, with a small door at the center of it.
Ooh.
But
Sure, God.
his
Nature
face
guy.
has a uncanny valley to it,
Oh, I hate that.
in that you can tell it's pretty, but the thing is, it's so pretty, and the smile is just too big. It's too wide. It grows a little too high. And he turns and he says, "Oh, so these are the lovely people we've heard so much about. Oh, look at this. We got a cavalcade of characters, don't we?"
Oh, no. Why does he sound like a young foghorn leghorn?
Now that I'm assuming we're all like in front of this guy, and I'm assuming Rat has resumed his position behind Wander. Zuriel just kind of steps back and joins Rat behind Wander, just on the other side.
I want to say that Wander Wander is inherently offended by this man's accent, but he can't explain why.
Well, I ain't usually trying to scare people with this face, but hey, If you want to be scared, go ahead and be scared. Turns out my
Dear
natural
God.
beauty ain't that bad.
You are not scary.
He's a character from Polar Express.
know.
Oh my god, that's such a good description.
God. This has got to be a curse of some
Ew.
kind, right?
You see, Markov, you see him look at you. And he looks at you for a bit. And again, that grin just grows and grows and grows.
Stop
And then
that.
he's like, you know? You want to see something cool?
Markov is just staring at him.
With Markov's patent can't stop smiling.
His
It's the trauma.
physiology grows to Markov's height. And suddenly, Markov, he has your face. With
Don't
your
like
grin.
that.
That's not normal! I was like, Zuriel just like,
Did I
point.
say it was normal?
That's not normal!
He grabs Tack by the front of his cloak and says, "Take that off."
At this point, Wander's gonna get
As you
involved
wish.
as he's gonna like tap Markov's arms, like, all right, calm down, stop baring your fangs, it's fine. He's just a prissy little rich boy.
He's gesturing to Tack. It's like he has my face.
Oh, I'm taking people's faces, darling.
You're
I'm not gonna
not
use
me.
it.
Markov, he's a changeling. It's literally a thing that they do. Though, looks over to Tack. Usually, from my experience, they have more of a courtesy to not flaunt that in front of people, including taking their face.
Pack reverts back to what you assume is oddly. He reverts back and he says, well, the funny thing about my situation is that I've learned to not give a fuck. I mean, that whole hiding thing is just canny bullshit for the wider audience to sit there and pray that they're safe from somebody taking their face from them.
Whoever's like
Just like to
doing
show
little
it off.
taps on their table, if I can get you to stop.
Great.
I, on one hand, want to respect that, but then on the other hand, please don't do that. This gaggle troop already has enough trauma to deal with, other than thinking, "Oh my God, my face been stolen."
Oh, trust me, if I could, I would love to keep doing this. However, as you can see, my position nowadays doesn't afford me that opportunity. I have to keep my natural, true face. If you guys want to see what I like,
No.
looking like- no. This is my persona. Oh, speaking of, forgot to introduce myself. And he shifts again. However, this time he looks exactly like the image posted. He looks like a human. Regular smile, bright colored eyes, hair tied up into a small ponytail with a little band coming down the front, and just a little chin strap beard. And he says, "My name is Tack, and while I loved my days of adventure, as you can see, I have gone into a more political standpoint, while my friend goes and takes all the spotlight from me. Son of a bitch."
Does
I believe
does
you-
anyone's character want to like connect the dots?
Can I do a thing as Barnaby?
By all means.
I like to think that Barnaby walks up past the group and he says, "I asked you if you wanted to come with me."
Oh, there you are! Sitting there gallivanting around the whole city trying to fight the last remnants of the sadly infected, stealing all of them from me. Plus, you know I couldn't because I had to take up this position.
I just can't believe Barnaby just like KS'd from you.
Man.
It's gotta be rough, man.
I'll also go ahead and put up a picture of Barnaby for everyone.
Barnaby has his hands on his hips, so he says, "I know you were not that busy. You just didn't want to get your hands dirty."
this, Tack just like crosses his arms and says, "Well, you know me, I don't like to get anything on my clothes."
Barnaby punches
These-
him in the shoulder.
Stupid suit. You know what? And
I'm gonna
he
look-
tries to take off Barnaby's arm.
I'm gonna like look at Barnaby and be like, "Oh, hey, I never got a chance. Thanks for earlier for saving our lives."
I like to think as Tack has a hold of Barnaby's arm, like the arm is just like waving. It's like, oh no, it's not a big deal. This is just an average Thursday for me. But you're very welcome.
Wander's gonna like
Average Thursday.
Wander's gonna nudge Sarge and just be like, I wanna be that one day. Average Thursday, I kill a fuck
Be
ton
that
of dragons.
Right, and I'm sure you will one day.
It does-
Slowly turns to Sarge with a very unamused face where it's like, I do not care for your tone, sir.
Do not care.
Listen, Mr. Locke, I like you. I do.
I hear a butt
And
coming
you
on.
are a big damned hero,
I can feel it
as
in
my
my
little
bones.
cousins like to say. However, that right there, that
Barnaby's
nonsense
still standing with
champion.
one hand on his hip.
He said it the fancy way.
I'll take off your
That-
helmet next, you son of a bitch!
I imagine
champion.
Tack is like gremlin climbing on Barnaby as they're like chomping on the helmet.
Yep, and Barnaby's just like wiggling, like, no, stop it, knock it off.
He's not even
Look at-
reacting.
Look at him. He has an idiot hanging off of his arm, and he's still majestic.
Wander
Look at the way the
motions
light
when
flicks
you
over his
say
arm.
that. Wander motions to Markov like, "Am I a fucking joke to you?"
Markov grabs onto Locke's arm and just kind of leans over his shoulder.
To be fair, you're the idiots hanging off each other's arms.
All right, I'll give you that one. That is a very fair expression. Markov, get off me! You're really heavy.
He finally lets go. He waits a good few seconds.
All right, let's go ahead and introduce the other two nobles for this.
Yes.
God, I love playing this game. We've got a 52 and a 31, and from the book, that is innocently. Oh no, not an innocent character. They'll never survive. Here we go.
What? They're wearing a red shirt? Oh no.
Innocently. Feeble. No. No. Okay, I'm
A
getting.
sweet old lady.
I'm
A
get.
sweet old lady.
I'm getting
Oh,
either a
no.
sweet old lady or sweet old man noble who like genuinely uses their position for good.
I like the sweet old lady that has biscuits out for everybody to eat.
He just always somehow magically produces biscuits.
Yeah.
She's mastered in
that's-
baking magic. That was like the
Yes.
first thing she learned growing up. And then she got into politics because everybody loved her, and so she did so she does everything she can every day to do right by the people.
Okay.
I don't know her name.
I'm seeing like picture this. There's a guy in town complaining about like the state of fucking politics in town or whatever. She just shows up out of nowhere. That's such a shame. Have a biscuit, dear. Just shoves it in his mouth. Everything magically is wonderful again.
Okay.
Have a biscuit, dear.
Barnaby
then-
takes back.
Oh my god,
They just
they're biscuits of calm emotion.
Oh, she's sneaky.
This
Okay.
is the only way things can get done around here.
Listen.
And like she
People
doesn't do
hear
anything
about-
malicious with them, but it's like, oh dear,
Pe-
you're under so much stress. Here, have a biscuit, and then you eat it and like,
Okay, so before we get too much further with this, I have a suggestion for what their ancestry is.
Okay.
A puppet. In
What is it?
Pathfinder,
What's
I will actually get you guys a picture of what a puppet is in
Oh
Pathfinder.
god, I just remembered.
Is that the little big planet guys?
Yup. Literally, there is an ancestry in Pathfinder 2nd Edition where the Sack Boys are literally a group of people. Let me... Here we go. Okay, I'm going to put this in the chat in the game, and I'm also going to put this in the Discord chat so that everyone can follow along.
They're called puppets. Oh my god, that's fucking great.
I like the idea that she is an old lady puppet that has, like, been around since before Dragonfall became what it was. And because of that, she's very much like the Heimerdinger of this world.
I'm about to cry.
Hell yeah.
These things are so cute. I literally have tears forming through my eye.
You did this, Basil.
And the best part... Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I like to think that Barnaby takes his arm back from Tack, kind of like yanks it out of his hold, and helps little puppet ma'am carry around her biscuits.
I got one of the best names for this.
Is a puppet?
No, her name is Raspberry Stitch.
I love it.
I have to draw her now.
She sounds like a cookie from Cookie Run.
I was really just playing that.
I don't have to sit here and take this assault on my emotions. I'm leaving.
Oh, he just fucking leaves with a thunder.
The exit did not work. I am returned.
Oh, it's okay. I thought you left with a thunderbolt.
Let's see, which cookie from Cookie Run does she sound like?
Honestly,
Uses calm emotion biscuits to help with delegation. Woman of the people.
I feel like
Oh, I have a good one.
Rat is gonna lock onto this little puppet, and again, you guys hear him talk normally, and he says, "So that's what it looks like on the outside."
What?
Markov. Without looking, Markov grabs Rat by the neck again.
You know what? What I'm trying to think of, like, what this looks. You know what this looks like to me? If anyone's seen that new animated indie show, The Digital Circus, when Jax just gets randomly choked.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I've been meaning to watch that.
It's so good.
I have a headcanon for what her voice sounds like for Miss Stitch.
Okay, what do you got?
Sometimes there's no correct answer.
Oh my god.
Oh, I kind of like
My
that.
spells are both art and magic.
Oh, I kind of like that. Yeah.
It's Latte Cookie.
That's actually kind of fantastic. Okay, unless anyone else wants to voice this character, I will take the lead on this because I kind of know where the story is going for this next part. If she kind of comes in and just kind of goes, "Oh, will you boys please stop making such a fuss? Tack, it's not very becoming of someone of the main houses of Dragonfall to let things happen in this manner." Oh no, sorry, Banahal.
Yeah,
We're still in
Tack.
Banahal. I almost made a mistake.
But remember,
No.
these are representatives from Dragonfall, correct?
No, so something that my brother Vic helped me with is that because of how the monarchy would work, they are literally nobles that run Banahal Port. They have
Okay.
they have like a lot of both monetary and like political interest in Banahal's construction.
Yeah, Tack grabs his arm away from him, puts it back on.
You're lucky. You know what? You have to join me and my wife for some sunrise salutations. How about that?
My wife.
I literally don't have muscles.
That doesn't mean you can still stretch your steel. And after he says
Fine.
that, he like pauses, and then it's just like the dead air makes him go, "Yeah, all right, that was stupid."
If you want, I can go with Mimsy and you, and go do your sun salutation.
Actually, she would like that a lot, yeah. Plus,
No.
maybe you could be pancakes.
Pancakes. Bacon
yeah.
pancakes?
Oh, I'm gonna have to get Blinky to get us some ingredients.
At this point, Raspberry Stitch is just waving them off for them to like go have that conversation elsewhere. She tries to introduce herself.
Yeah. At this point, Zuriel is like watching these two, like looking at the party, and being like, "So did they like need us for something?"
I can do her voice if you don't want to do it, Basil.
I have no problems with it, because I kind of know where the plot is going, and I don't want to not be mean. This is hilarious, but I don't want you guys to just like derail this any further.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Darn, he found out my plan.
As she says, oh, don't mind them. They're good-hearted. One of the reasons we brought you all here was, yes, we wanted to parade Barnaby around and, you know, help bring the people's energy back up, but also everyone knows you all as the underdogs way above their heads who did stand up when no one else would. Your intervention gave Barnaby plenty of time to get to the port to assist, and without you, I don't think there would have been a port worth saving. So, we brought you here to make it official, as well as present to you something important. As she's going to pull out a very, like, tiny rolled-up scroll that, like, expands into a normal paper. Does anybody want to take it before Wander does?
I think
Sark
I
will.
would just. There you go.
Okay.
Markov doesn't like reading.
Markov is also still holding up Rat.
Oh, that's true.
He has not let him down.
I don't think he's gonna let him down anytime soon unless Locke tells him to.
Yeah, Wander has no issues. Does Rat seem uncomfortable?
Rat is still just staring at the puppet. Like, even though he's in technically an uncomfortable position, thankfully because of his undeath, it ain't uncomfortable, but he's oddly fixated on that puppet.
It's like grabbing a cat by the scruff of their neck.
As Zuriel, between you and Sarge, you guys are reading a copy of a document that is offering us either individually or collectively land in Banaha Port.
Markov leans over and brings Rat over to look at it.
Well, I think Markov next to Rat is the shortest person, or Wander is the shortest person, so he's like trying to like stand on his tippy toes under everybody to read the paper.
How tall is Sarge?
I don't remember, but he's
Oh,
probably
that's
on
right.
the
You're
shorter
a
end.
fucking dwarf, so like yeah, that's right. Like you would technically be shorter than me.
I think Zuriel's like 5'7".
So after offering that paper, she
Yeah,
goes,
he's 4'2".
okay, yeah. She kind of smiles at that and goes, "This is the age of adventure, and it would be best for the port as well as Avmore itself if we rewarded and incentivized adventurers to stick around. So, we both want to give you the option to have a comfortable living space, either together or smaller personal accommodations, as well as offer you better equipment, payment, and the like to do a bit more work for the people of Avmore, and specifically Dragonfall, if you're willing."
Yes.
Wander like nudges Markov. It's like, don't go speaking for the both of us. But yes, man, we would actually love this.
I think at that point Markov lets Rat go.
And then picks Wander up.
Yeah.
Sarge, how do you respond to this? You are being recognized for your current heroic deeds.
I told him. Told him all.
Broderick's just having that moment where it's like, I fucking knew it. I knew it was right.
Can't be a hero, huh? Gotta be a medic, huh? I showed you.
By the way, I really love the voice you're doing for him. Like, you should stick with that one.
But yeah, Sarge has no complaints. He's all in.
Zuriel.
I think I was thinking for a little while about the offer of land, and Zuriel's initial thought is, I don't need that. But then he started thinking, I could use that whole space to grow a wonderful garden.
Aww. Is Rat out of their transfixion with the puppet?
Rat, once he notices everyone else answering, he goes, yeah, that'd be cool to stick with everyone.
Everyone just starts looking at Rat.
Do I
I'm
need to
thinking
grab
about
you
my-
again?
I'm thinking about my garden I want to make now. I'm not even concerned with Rat and how much I love the garden I have in mind.
Just that little like anime thing where it's like we can clearly tell you're daydreaming as you're smiling to yourself.
What's the girl from Bleach? Orihime.
Yes.
Her level of daydreaming.
Wander is going to look at Rat and just be like, "You did it again."
Who is in your head?
No one in head. Rat, fine.
Grabs him by the scruff. You are not fine.
Ugh.
I think at this point, Raspberry Stitch is going to offer Rat a biscuit. You seem troubled, dear. Maybe this will help you calm down.
Rat grabs it and then he says, How you live? Like Rat?
Oh. When...
And he is going to purposely pull the mask down, and as he takes a bite of the biscuit to show her that his undeath.
Mm-hmm. You're gonna notice that Raspberry Stitch does not flinch at this. While I think even your allies are still kind of like, woof, have to kind of mentally prepare for that, she doesn't. As she goes over and like with her little like, go ahead.
Only Wander has seen Rat's face.
Okay, Wander still has to prepare himself to see that face.
Everyone sees the undead Rat now.
Well, that took me out of my daydream.
Markov's still holding on to Rat. Looks at him, slowly pulls the mask back up on his face.
Raspberry Stitch is going to like pat on Markov, like, no, none of that. As she'll go
He drops
over and pats Rat's hand and just goes, "We're not the same, I'm afraid. I was created and became aware due to, well, an abundance of love by the people who made me."
Sarge is actually gonna start like walking over to Rat and like walking around him, just like very much now like full on professional curiosity. Oh well, that's not up to code.
But Mom loved me. Brother loved me.
And at that point,
Was I not made with love?
And at that point, she's going to smile at you and say, "It doesn't matter why you were made. It matters what you do with that life that you were given. And if you have two people that love you very, very much, that means you're doing something very right."
This lady about to make me cry.
This does cheer up Rat a bit as he like sits up a bit more straight, which finally shows his height a bit as he goes up to Markov's shoulder just a skosh.
Wander curses
slashing
under
a
his
bit,
breath. Some bitch, everyone
And-
telling me.
And then Rat goes, "Thank you. Sorry about face. I know, scary."
She waves and then like kind of pulls up her sleeve, showing like a fuck ton of different stitches across her body. It's like, please, I'm definitely not someone who's foreign to the occasional patchwork job.
Tell me about it. You should see some of the things I've seen come out of the medical tents.
She gets a little somber but nods at that like, oh yeah.
At this point, you guys see Rat's eye that does have a lid just start bursting with tears as the other one just stays dry. And he's just like, Rat found cool, good people.
Wander's gonna roll his eyes, go over and just pat Rat on the back, like, okay, buddy, let it out.
I'm also going to say that starting here and now, Sarge is going to start trying to work up a maintenance schedule for Rat so that he can maintain his undead body.
You know what? Actually, that's okay. So that's something I'd love to pitch to you guys after session. That's fascinating, and I want to explore what that could do.
That's interesting.
I love that idea, actually. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of Barnaby and Tax characters.
I drew what I think Raspberry Stitch would look like.
Oh, please.
No.
Oh.
Aww.
Look at that. Look at
I
that.
love her.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, can I share that with stream?
Yes.
Alright guys, 1 second. Let me show you what Raspberry Stitch be looking like.
My heart.
It's like a sock puppet Aunt May.
It is! It really is!
I'd
Should
say
we do
more
the
finger
third noble
puppet,
now?
but-
Yes, I actually wanted to ask if you guys wanted to do the third noble. Now that we've gotten all
Yes.
these other characters. That's such a good design, Ellie. Holy shit.
Thank you. I was possessed, and she told me this is what she looked like.
Now,
That's
don't
what
you
she looks
worry
like now.
about.
She has little raspberries on her, like, mid part. like, on her little shoulder.
that.
It's so good. It's so good. Okay, so the last noble who is going to provide us... So here's the thing. I don't know what Tack would provide us per se because we kind of got
Food.
sidetracked with some fun shit. You know what? Housing and supplies is a good thing that I think Tack would provide.
I was indeed thinking some manner of housing and essentially.
Equipment?
I don't want to
So-
say stockbroking, but the financial area.
No. So I actually
'Cause
like.
it's-
I actually like that idea that Tack is like gives us the funds to create our own businesses on the side if we so choose to, because that's a rule set you can use in this game.
Ooh.
Mhm.
Okay, Tack
Markov
supplies.
becomes a hitman.
I mean, that's basically what Wander and Markov already are.
True.
Okay, so Tack is supplying the funds and supplies. Raspberry Stitch.
Now I
God,
want
it's
that
fucking
back.
good.
And then Raspberry slaps his ankle. All right, fine, never
No,
mind.
I honestly think
He's about to make it like a big statement, but then I know Raspberry's like, quit it.
No, I don't even think Raspberry has to do anything. I think there's like this brief moment where she like smiles and looks to Barnaby with her head tilted, and Barnaby slaps Tack in the back of the head.
Just like he has a fist, he just bonks it on top of Tag's head.
I did it. Okay, I'm sorry for making a joke.
So Tack is supplying the funds, Raspberry Stitch is providing the documents, and this noble is supplying the equipment. And this noble, 2d100s.
Goddamn.
A 100 and a 68. Yieldingly normal. Oh, boring man noble! Boring man noble!
Boring man.
Norman.
I'm normal.
You know what I'm imagining from the new Pokemon games? I think he's like the normal type gym leader.
Norman.
Literally, his
God.
name is Norman.
Gosh.
I also have a more fantasy-esque character. if you
Okay.
want that.
What do you have?
I have a halfling wizard who, her name's Calliope, and she's just like, "Hi, I'm the girl next door."
Oh my god.
I'm gonna leave it up to you guys and even chat's influence on where we want to go with this. Are we just like normal human man Norman, or are we gonna go with the girl next door concept? I really want to go with human man Norman.
I'm gonna let
You-
fate decide my choice.
Human Man Norman is pretty good. I think, especially since the other two are a changeling and a poppet.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Hmm.
I'm not against Norman.
Please name him Norman.
I want
Human
to.
Man Norman.
Okay, Worm, do you have any objections?
None at all.
All right. All right. So
We need him in.
so
We need him in our
basic.
reaction. It's just, what's wrong? You're normal.
You're normal. What the hell?
That's not how this world works.
It's that thing where the Adams family meet Fester's fiance.
All right, his name is not Norman, the guy that I'm thinking about.
Uh-huh.
That's another gym leader. That's May's dad.
Oh, okay. I do like Norman because normal man.
Normal man.
You know what? I'm actually gonna put in the notes is jokingly nicknamed Normal Man.
Normal man.
He gets picked on for it. However, I think his whole thing is that he is going to be the equipment broker of the nobles of Banahaw. So as he comes up, I have so many voices I could choose
Larry,
from. That's right, the dude in Pokemon's name is Larry.
Yeah.
Which is also really good, but
That is.
Which one do we
Middle-
want? Cool
I still
Jasmine or Larry?
Two.
I still
Two.
want.
His,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say his name is Norman Larry.
Norman Larry!
Norman
I will
Larry.
accept it!
But I-
Because then his
here's-
nickname or his unofficial title is Normal Man Larry.
Here's the reason why I want two. Because he has to deal with all this shit. He has to deal with Tack. He has to deal with Barnaby. Barnaby's great, but god damn it, is he a fucking board. He's a board. And then there's Raspberry, who it's like, no, we don't need a biscuit. We need emotions right now.
Also,
He's doing
I
lots
would
of
like
motions.
to suggest make his name Lawrence Norman, and his nickname is Larry, the Normal Man.
That's good
Yes,
too.
that's really good. Lawrence Norman. And he's thus nicknamed, jokingly and sometimes insultingly by his peers as Normal Man Larry.
And I feel like
Or I guess
He-
Larry Normal Man, which has a better ring to it, like you were saying.
And I have a small bit of backstory I already have in mind for him.
Okay.
He was a extremely talented blacksmith, right?
Okay.
And that was his profession. And he excelled at it for Banahaw Port. Mainly because no other blacksmith sticks around. They make their trade and leave.
Mm-hmm.
Hence why the normal guy got the Lord of Smithing position. Which is why he's now just sad and like just kind of angry. Not at anyone in particular. He's like, man, I have to do so much business, I can't make weapons. I'm a dwarf at heart and I can't make anything.
I actually really like this. Oh my god, this
And I
is
gotta
so
deal
good.
with this fucking changeling that likes to change it to my face to fuck with me. I have a suit of armor that's alive, a doll that is adorable, but sometimes doesn't understand the intricacies of politics.
I 100% want to believe that without Lawrence, Banahaw Port politically would just be in shambles.
It would be
Exactly.
a
I
shit
love
show.
that.
I'm also now imagining he's just Jamie Heineman from MythBusters.
Yeah!
Like every time his partners start going on wild things, like, now hold on. We know that if we do this, this will happen.
Okay,
If that happens, we have to do this.
okay, Worm, I want you to voice Lawrence Norman. It's so perfect. I mean, so like, given the description we've given, like, you know, give whatever performance. Your main goal with this character is to either stay on task or answer direct questions for equipment. That's this man's priority. So with that being said, Wander's gonna look towards Lawrence Norman and goes, "All right, sir, what's your gimmick?"
Gimmicks are for performers, sir. I'm a civil servant. That said, while we are quite thankful to you for the continued existence of Bannerhoff Port, there are some... Hold on. Pulled out a notebook, starts flipping through it. No, that's been settled. That's been pushed to a later date. We do not have a Minister of Coin, so we can't even address that.
I thought I was the Minister of Coin!
Barbie drags him back out of the doorway.
Like just a long stare, turns back to the notebook. Ah, yes, that's where we are. I would like to extend access to any provisions or equipment you might need, up to and including provisions and armors as needed.
And I will...
As far as anything else, you may see my minor flinch compatriots.
So I will add to this. So how I'm doing this in this game and the other game. By the way, Worm, thank you. That was Oscar-worthy performance. That was beautiful.
That was lovely.
So the thing we're gonna add to this is I'm going to allow you guys to have a total of 4 consumable items that you can get. Meaning, if you stockpile 4 health potions, those are your 4 individual consumables. And as long as you are staying within your level cap, you are able to either get gear or upgrade gear to your liking. The cool thing about Pathfinder is that money costs a lot of things, but realistically, if you want to give your weapons a rune property to hit harder and hit with a special flare, you can only go up to level 4 bonuses. Like, you cannot upgrade your weapons too quickly based on your level. So, take away the money aspect of it, everyone is allowed to gain a rune of +1 to all of our weapons.
Yay.
Which also means that getting criticals will be a lot easier. So with that said, I know what I want to do with mine, and with that point, Wander's actually going to, like, open up his bag and just kind of bring up to Lawrence that, I'll just be very frank with you then, sir, since we are trying to get down to proper business. I'm going to have 1 pistol that I'm going to want upgraded, and a second I'm going to want fixed, and then also given a runic property, if that would be so inclined.
Markov pulls out a sword. Hit harder.
Eloquent, of course. Let's see, solid construction. No major flaws. We should be able to get these turned around shortly. Yeah, fun.
And then, what do Sarge, Rat, and names Zuriel want to do? And we'll go in that order.
Did you just call me Zuriel?
I might have.
Not you, Basil Ryan.
Yeah, sorry.
So in that order, Sarge, what are you gonna request to have done? And you can generalize because we'll go deeper into the rules later.
I'm thinking that because I need to get. I think I'm gonna want my mace +1, so that I have a reason to actually use it over my fists.
Okay, that is doable. I also want to point out that you can also get some kind of hand wrap so that your fists get a +1. If you are inclined.
Why would you? Why would
I have
you,
given you a
Basil?
dilemma. Because here's the thing too. As you get stronger, and once we introduce archetypes, depending on how you want to plan out your character, your fist can do way more damage than your mace if you build into them correctly.
Yeah. I'm thinking we're gonna need some hand wraps.
We got a punchy boy. Rat, what would you like to generally look into for better gear?
Rat is gonna get a shield, give it +1, and then 2 health potions, and that's it.
Okay, bet. Like an actual like physical shield or a spell?
A shield.
Like a real
Like
one?
The physical one.
Okay, that's what I need to know. So I'm gonna sit down with you one of these days, and we're gonna like go over it because I also bought a supplement that gives you a lot of cool shield perks. So there's a lot that you can look into. I'm assuming, given Rat's strength, you're probably gonna either want a buckler or just a medium-sized shield.
What's the difference between the two? Is it almost the same?
So a medium shield is something that like you are able. So a buckler has less AC, but it's easier to replace or repair or fix. A medium shield is much sturdier, but would take more to fix if and when it does break.
Gotcha.
Both of them are going to need a free hand to wield, though.
Okay. Then I think I'll just stick with the buckler for less repair time.
Okay. Then with that, Zuriel.
So, I'm thinking I want to get like what is it? A +1 to my bow staff?
Yup, that can be done.
Yeah. And I have leather armor. Is there any way I can like upgrade that?
I do, in fact, believe I have a thing for upgrading armor runes. Let me look in the compendium here. So, rune, equipment, everything, shields, effective, weapon, armor rune. Yeah, there are armor. So, you know what? I might actually dip into that too. That's really good thinking.
My AC may be 19, but like I'd love to just bump that up.
The property rune remains altered until your next day. Let me look up. Okay, let me look on the Archives of Nethys really quick. Property runes. Okay, armor rune. There's armor rune shifter runes, accessory runes. Armor might not have runes. It might be an accessory thing. Abilities to mundane clothing, items, shields, and vehicles. Accessory runes must be physically applied. Follow the rules for formulas. The following exception, because accessory runes are applied to materials that are less sturdy. They can't always be etched into the surface. When transferring runes to a cloth, the rune can be stitched, sewn, regardless of the surface. Etching process, transferring runes, fundamental runes. Here we go. There is. Okay, so yeah, actually, any of us and all of us should maybe look into getting that kind of armor upgrade, because if we essentially get what is called an armor potency, we just get a +1 to our AC.
Sick.
Oh, yeah.
And then we are also able to improve it further going forward if we want to upgrade it to just increase that at level 8.
Okay.
So, that's not too bad.
So want to make sure I'm looking at the right thing here. So if I go to my leather armor and I hit edit and I hit details, there's a place where it says potency rune and resilient rune. and
You would want to
Do I
add
need to-
the armor potency. Resilient is the upgraded version of that.
Yes. Okay. So armor potency +1.
Yep, and then you just throw that onto your armor, and it should work.
I believe that is there. And then my bow staff to make that +1.
Yep. Oh, I
Where-
have made a minor mistake.
Oh.
Because I was trying to find it in Archives of Nethys. So armor potency is a level 5 item.
Oh. Okay. Then. Okay.
Now,
Let me look into something else, maybe then.
yeah, because the weapon potency should be a level 4. So let me double check that. Actually, it's a level 2. So yes, we are able to get weapon potencies, but level 4 or level 5 is when we'll be allowed to get armor potency.
Would I be able to then also make my crossbow +1?
Yes. And also to make it fun for you, Worm, like if you want both the mace and the hand wraps to be like a +1, you can. I want you to specify how you want to play.
Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, so
And then-
how you do it is you look up weapon potency 1 on the compendium, open up your character sheet, bring over your pistol, and make sure you just drag and drop the 1 onto the dueling pistol. For me, it'd
You
be
can-
dueling pistol.
You can also hit edit item on that item, go to details, and there's a drop down box that says potency rune, and then just click the +1 on that.
Oh, fucking A, that's even better. How do you get that to pop up?
Okay, so if you're on your weapons, you look all the way
Mhm.
to the right, there's a little pencil there. You click that, and it shows you a thing that, like, just pops up
Yeah,
your...
you gotta be in your equipment.
Yes. And then you hit details, that's all the way to the right. Scroll down
Mhm.
just a little bit, and then you see your material composition and runes.
Yep, and then potency room +1. Boom, baby. And I'm gonna get 2 of these.
And then would I be able to get a couple of health potions at this point?
Yeah, remember you can have a max of 4 consumable items.
Mm-hmm. I think I'm just gonna get like one more health potion.
Nice, nice.
That way I just have 2 on me. I don't think I need 4 on me,
Right, right.
because I went ahead and also kept stabilize on me, even though I traded out heal.
Hey, Bass, just to make sure I'm looking at the right thing, I'm looking at hand wraps of mighty blows.
Yes.
I mean, cool. Cool.
And also, yes, chat, I'm also looking forward for the remaster. That's coming out very soon. Oh, I'm so excited. But with that, we have our general kit and gear. I'm gonna grab some health potions myself. Because I have all the ammo I'm gonna need. I'm gonna grab, I think, 4 health potions. It's called potion of healing potion. So I think standard healing potion. Let me see here. There's minor, which is level 1, and there's moderate, which is level 6. So I'm gonna grab 4 of the minor. Beautiful. And then later I will also introduce the random table roll stuff that I got. After that, there are 2 things that we can look into before we wrap up the session. We can discuss what people want to have for like their side business that like built up in Banahog, because the idea is that we'll be spending the next couple of weeks in Banahog getting established. And then the other thing is to use the cool Arcane Artifacts book that Ryan gave me to see what special custom item we will get.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
I didn't even know you
Thanks.
left.
I went to the bathroom.
Oh. So I'm gonna go ahead and make another separate document. And magic items custom. Okay. So it's either we can detail what we think our individual side hustles would be, or I can let you guys think on that, and we can start rolling on the table of magical curiosities that this book has for us.
I want you to
Kind
roll
of.
for me because I already know which area is each item.
Mm-hmm.
But there are 1,000 items. There's a lot.
Oh goodness.
I'll say Rat is probably just kind of just bouncing between person to person as they do their things, just more or less confused, but helping them as best as he can, like trying to help with Zuriel's garden.
Yes.
That is probably where he sticks most of his time because it's quiet.
Valid, very valid.
Zuriel just the whole time is just like, so this is the plot of land that I'm going to use for actual fruits and vegetables. This is where I'm gonna grow a couple of trees. That is where the little cabin I want is gonna go.
Okay, so then I'm gonna say I do have an idea for what Wander's side business would need to be, but I'm gonna try to like look into it a little bit more before I make that happen. With that said, what about Sarge? Does Sarge just get a nice living quarters, or does he like get a side hustle?
Just nice living quarters.
Okay.
I want Markov to go and buy something very specific once we get the chance.
Okay. What is Markov buying?
He wants to go and try and find like an artist or something in Banaha,
Mm-hmm.
and ask them to draw the prince of the Amrai Empire.
Ooh. Okay. Like a nice little like thing to have for Markov's living quarters.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's-
I like that, and that'll be a good talking point later, actually.
He's gonna keep it in a special area. I have an idea of what he's gonna do with it.
You made it weird.
Well,
It's not gonna be weird. So it's not gonna be weird. He's making a shrine, kind of. Like,
It's not gonna
in
be
a-
weird.
it's not weird.
in a memory of somebody.
Okay, that makes
Okay.
that is a.
It's like those shrines of like deceased family members you see in Japan.
Okay, I like that
Okay.
logic. However, but I just want to re-point out how funny. It's not gonna be weird. He's gonna make a shrine.
He's not all there, okay?
Fair enough. I like the idea that all of our characters now like have this little like neighborhood that's just
I'm hellbent on the cons. Ever since I listened to the Unexpectables, I've always been hellbent on characters having a home to return to expand upon when not going out adventuring. Like, I really like that
Mhm.
aspect. That being
I think it's
said,
sweet.
who's ready for random magical item bullshit?
Yeah.
Real quick,
Uh-huh.
minor issue. I wanted to add some potions to my character sheet,
Uh-huh.
and so I tried to drag and drop, but they just disappeared.
Oh, I'll help you out with that really quick. Sometimes this thing likes to be funny. Okay, there we go. Open up your character sheet. How many potions do you want?
Just two.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you 2 potions of minor healing. Boop, and now you have them.
Okay, there we go.
Yep. The top one is it looks very confusing, but it's a macro for creating your own health potion. Yeah, it's a little misleading.
Okay, yeah, because that doesn't.
All right. At that point, time for some magical items. I like the idea that between the four of them, they also realize the mission they're going to be sending us on. So, because of what they were able to pull together and what Banahaw has available, they were able to rediscover some magical items from the Banahaw's armory that they were saving for such adventurers. Again, they're going to employ us to go do something. I'm going to write in that the implication is that as long as we work for Banahaw, we get to keep these items. We have to return them or offer to return them at the end of every job.
Oh, that's
Okay.
interesting.
And I want to go that route because that way because we are throwing in something that's not in Pathfinder's books, which is fine, but that also makes it to where we have an excuse to experiment with some things and find things that may or may not be broken. Because Pathfinder is a very fun system, but it's a system that is stable when you don't add too much junk into it. All right.
We need to only be broken when the plot needs.
And when the plot demands it, yes. That being said, it's going to be very easy for us to canonize, oh, I want to keep this item. But for now, I'm just putting out there for the narrative purposes, it is not, these things will not be permanent unless we really push for them to be. Alright, so with that, 10 chapters. So we're going to roll, so I'm going to make this fun, let's go individually. Sarge, can you roll me a 1d10?
I mean, I suppose. So this is funny. I
Okay.
forgot where the dice are.
Very bottom of the chat.
And you said you need a 20?
D10.
D10.
That's a 20.
Ignore that.
If you hover your mouse over it, they'll pop up saying D10, D12, or whatnot.
I'm hitting it. Oh, nope, that's trying to roll 2 of them. Hold on. How do I?
I'll take your first roll. Okay, 5. So chapter 5. And that's going to be a weapon. Nope, sorry. It's a book, journal, or a scroll. Ooh. Okay. Now roll me a D100.
Okay, hold on. Because it's just adding dice instead of rolling them.
Right, because you add the dice first, then you roll them
Then you
separately.
click roll,
they're
yeah.
two different buttons.
Oh.
I don't like it that much, but it's a thing.
Y'all a bunch of babies.
I don't like this.
I just want to click button and go. I don't want to sit there and click button, then click another button to make the button go.
Okay, so
Okay.
you got a 54.
Yes.
Okay, so that's going to be... Scrolling through the book. This is such a fucking cool book.
Right, I love it.
The Historian's Journal. A simple book bound in dark blue leather automatically records the doings of whoever carries the book. The book can record up to 10 years of activities before it is full and must be replaced. The first 3 years of this book are filled with the activities of one Claudine Miles, a man who worked as a judge for a number of years. All the case proceedings have been recorded in detail and are actually quite interesting to read. His story ends when he is robbed and killed on the road. Fuck, that's cool.
That's really cool.
I take it back. We're keeping
I
these
want
items.
that.
That is
Keeping these items.
that is just fun flavor. That is just a cool idea for an item. Okay, so in your equipment,
I could
put
really
the
use
Historian's
that.
Journal. I will type out the specificities of that later. I'll put that in the description of your item later. Oh, this is so fucking cool, babe. You were so smart.
I'm always smart. I'm the smart one in the relationship.
This is very true. We're both creative, but she's the smart one. Okay, Rat, roll a d10.
I got you. Yeet.
Okay, chapter 6. I'm gonna need to get more books like this. This is so fucking neat. Chapter 6 is potions, food, and drink.
Ooh.
While I'm flipping to that, roll me a D100.
43.
43.
Okay. Put in your equipment, I will add the details later, the Evergrow leaf.
You fucking what, mate?
It's a loaf of plain rye bread is the appearance. Sorry, the Evergrow loaf. I'm dyslexic.
I was like,
Okay.
leave?
I was like, Z might have a field day.
That sounds like a different kind. Like if that's what you're seeing, then that leaf was smokable.
I was gonna say we might have to have some tradesies. We'll see.
Here's the enchantment. As long as there is a little bit remaining, this loaf of bread regrows every day at dawn. Remains warm and crusty, no matter how long it has been sitting out.
Oh no!
That is so good.
That's actually
So it's
really
fungus.
neat.
So it's
Like-
fungus.
Oh my god. I feel like the person that hands him this enchanted loaf, Rat is like, oh, thank you, food. And then Wander's like, no. There's a thing to that. But
Like-
Rat is like, but food.
Like just
Right,
Rat
Wa-
unhinges his
Wander
jaw,
literally
proceeds-
Go ahead, Worm. Go ahead, Worm.
Rat unhinges his jaw, proceeds to start shoving the entire loaf down his throat. No.
Exactly what I was gonna say.
Me too, like a snake.
Wander will take a piece of the bread off, and then, like, that day be like, all right, Rat, just trust me on this. The very next morning, Rat sees the bread again.
Oh, look, more bread. And then Rat's like, no! Oh, wait, damn it!
You know what? Since we're spending the better part of a month in Banahaw, how long do you think Rat takes before he understands what he's supposed to do with the loaf?
See, it's not about Rat understanding it. It's everybody being done with Rat not understanding it. So I think it takes, like, a day until Wander's, like, finally like, no, Rat, it regrows. It regrows. It's a growing loaf. And Rat just goes,
Rat then
Just
attempts
don't
to
eat all of it.
Rat then attempts to plant the bread.
yeah, see, like, takes a tiny crumb of it and plants it in the garden.
I walk out to see Rat digging a hole, and I'm like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?"
And it's not with a shovel, it is with his hands.
Wander,
He's taking it like a dog.
Wander would 100% just like, don't question it. He's not eating all of the bread, and it makes sense to him. Don't question it.
Okay, but we at least have to be organized about this. Come on, you gotta put this like near the wheat, not next to the sunflowers. Come on.
But
You-
that's Rat's spot!
No, it's not.
All right, here's the history. Once there was a hedge mage named Matthew Tyler Gennaro, who was forced to sell his shop after his business failed. With nothing left to his name, he enchanted the only thing he owned, a crust of bread. To his surprise, the magic worked and the bread regrew into a delicious hot loaf. He approached a baker and the two partnered to create delicious enchanted bread and became popular all over the kingdom. That is,
That's
I
really
love-
sweet.
I need to buy all of the books that this person makes. This is so
So,
cute.
We currently have all of them.
Good.
So, I will say, you guys would have to stop Rat at one point because I just realized something with this loaf. If you chop it up into tiny pieces, each one individually regrows. And Rat
Hold on,
does
remains
that.
warm, crusty.
He shreds it to pieces
As long as
and
there's a
each
little
one
bit
starts
remaining, this loaf of
regrowing, and
bread
everyone's like,
grows
no.
every day at dawn, remains warm and crusty. I'm going to say that only one of the pieces would do that because of how
Yeah.
the loaf is phrased. It's not that every remaining piece; it's that one of them specifically, like the magic, like centers
Oh.
Like the
itself into
biggest
one.
piece.
That makes
The biggest piece that has not been digested.
Yeah,
Not gonna lie, I still
Otherwise-
think that was a valid
Because
question.
otherwise, you have
it was a
very
valid
full
question. It was
stomach.
very good.
Infinite food.
Infinite
Fucking,
food glitch.
what's that spell in 5e?
Goodberry.
Cloudberry? Goodberry, thank you.
It's good
Oh,
berry, but
yeah.
cooler.
And it doesn't
But
heal
good
you.
berries taste like good berries.
The schnozberries. All right. With that, Who all has rolled so far? Oh my god, I'm so glad we have this book.
Sarge and Rat have rolled.
Okay, Zuriel, go ahead and roll.
Alright.
D10
A
first,
D10.
then a D100.
I'm so excited.
Chapter 4, which is going to be weapons, and you got a 7.
7.
Okay, page 131. And number 7 is Lava Stone Sword.
Yo.
Oh my god.
A short sword made from black, glassy obsidian.
Oh, I love that. Oh, I love that so much.
When the command word is spoken, this sword heats to a red-hot temperature, doing an extra 2d6 fire damage to all enemies. When activated, the sword becomes hot enough to melt most common metals. Okay,
Oh.
that's actually very balanced for Pathfinder still.
Zuriel holding this. It's the anti-metal.
It
the
kind of
anti-metal.
is. So, like, essentially...
If Barnaby were around, he would start holding himself.
He
So,
takes a step back.
so to use more Pathfinder terms, you'd have to use an action to use the command to turn the sword on, but then the sword stays on for however long you want. So an action to turn it... Yeah, so an action to turn it on, an action to turn it off.
Oh, this would have been so good in the fight we just had.
Right?
Oh my god.
It really would have.
Where
Really would've.
where should I put this? Like
Just
under...
add it to your equipment, and I will put the details in later.
like under the specific tab that says equipment.
Yeah, like put it under your equipment, like in as weapons or whatever. Just put it somewhere in your character sheet, and I will like make the item in the game later.
Okay. What was it called again?
The Lava Stone Sword. So here's the history. Once there was a brave soul named Tognan Firestone. He came from a family of obsidian carvers, and in a quest to find the world's finest and strongest obsidian, he delved deep into the volcanic mountain range, believed to be the home of the fire goddess. He was gone for 3 days and 4 nights, and when he returned, he brought with him a chunk of obsidian larger than any he had ever seen. He claimed it was a gift from the goddess herself, and he carved it into a sword in honor of her. That's fucking nice.
The
Mark,
Pele sword.
yeah, Markov. That's what I was thinking too. Is like Pele sword. Roll me some dice.
Yes. Give me things.
Chapter 2, which is clothing.
Okay.
And we got 78. Hat of Shelter. A wide-brimmed hat of cream-colored wool. When the command word is spoken, this hat grows into a sturdy 3-person tent. The hat was worn by Daniela Beauregard, a cartographer who spent her days roaming the kingdom and crafting maps. Her maps were so detailed and accurate that they became highly sought luxuries, and she was eventually offered a position in court, making maps for the royal army.
Okay.
That's really
I will
fucking
put that in
neat.
there.
Yeah, yeah, because you'll be able to reference the book and you can build that later. My turn. Chapter. Oh, I don't know why it has a -8 to it. So it should be chapter 10. And then here's
No,
the
no.
100.
It's chapter 2, Bats.
Okay, 34. So chapter 10 is miscellaneous. Oh.
You can have a lot
About
of
to get
fun
some
with
dumb
that.
shit.
All right, 373 is where that starts, and then I got a 34.
I literally just upgraded my bow staff, and now I'm not gonna fucking use it.
If you listen, if you want, you can forgo the bow staff, and we can give a +1 to the sword when I build it for you.
Nah, we'll keep the bow staff for now. I might use that.
Okay.
Wait, I might actually use that.
The other thing, too, that I have to pinpoint is that most magical items automatically get a +1 because in this game, to give a weapon a property rune, like making it have fire abilities, it already has to be enchanted to have a +1 to it. So you just have you have 2 magical items now.
Ooh.
Okay. 34. Oh, this is such a fun book. This is shopping episode done right.
Yeah.
Point Crucible. A heavy crucible with a large rough rune carved in the bottom. What's a crucible?
Isn't
It's
it like
something
a?
you use to heat metal.
Yep.
Ooh.
It's like a
It's-
stone bowl, I think.
Yeah. You essentially use that with tongs to pick up the molten metal and pour it into whatever you.
Oh yeah, it's
wanna
it's
cast.
that bowl thing that you do.
Yep.
Okay. So, Point Crucible, a heavy crucible with a large, rough rune. Anything magical or non-magical placed into this crucible will melt within 1d10 minutes. This crucible was owned by Joustin or Joustin James. I don't know how to pronounce. Or Houston James, a traveling alchemist who enjoyed crafting potions and experimenting with local substances. This man was a druggie!
He was.
And he went so far, he went to enchanted items. Holy shit.
So here's the cool thing. Do you guys realize what this means I can do?
You can destroy
What's that
things.
mean?
I can destroy magical items to make them into magic guns.
Oh.
That's
Or
fucking
magic
beautiful.
bullets.
Or oh my god, I can make magic bullets. That's way more useful.
It doesn't explain. This bothers me a bit because it doesn't explain what happens based on leveled items or because.
So that's when it's gonna come into Pathfinder rules, and thankfully I know enough
Okay.
about this to where essentially in Pathfinder you are able to remove magical runes and property runes, aka the magical enchantments, on one item to put them into another. The thing is, it costs half as much money and time to remove them, and then you still have to pay the full amount of time and money to then enchant a new item.
But with this, we don't have to pay the disenchant cost essentially.
No, essentially not. We just have to be very careful that when we melt something down, we are immediately then using the enchanted materials to make a new item.
Larry Norman. He's very jealous of your item.
Dude, he would be fucking pissed. He's just sitting there with like hand, you know, the position where the elbows are on the table and the hands are crossed
His hands
together.
are folded.
Yep, and he's just like staring, covering his mouth, like glaring at that. Just, oh,
I wish to make it very clear that I in no way endorse such items.
Frivolous use of such items.
Oh my god, that's super cool. Okay, I like this a lot actually. What I will say we will do, I don't think these items are very broken. I actually think they're pretty solid. I think the only weapon that's maybe a little too powerful via our level is Zuriel's fire sword. But like, I'm not gonna split hairs on that. It's a cool ass sword.
Zariel, I will trade you.
No.
Okay.
What was your item again?
I got a hat that turns into a tent.
Yeah, I'm good.
I'll make some comparisons to other weapons. I think the only thing with Zuriel's item I might have to do is make it where you have to spend an action to like continue the. You know what? We're gonna actually make that a thing. So do you know how sustain spells work in this game, Ellie?
I do not.
Okay, so a lot of spells can work and continue to be activated if you actively choose to use an action to keep the spell going. So I'm gonna say, for the sake of balance, your weapon, it takes one action to cast it, and thus you have the two other actions to do what you want. But then every turn, if you want that sword to stay on fire and to have that fire ability, you have to spend an action to sustain it and keep it going.
I think that makes sense.
I think that's a very good way of balancing that sword. and then once you get to a level where like you'd have the equivalent of that sword on level, I will remove that stipulation.
Okay. I think that also makes sense just like in general because like Zuriel's not the one that's going to be running up to people with the sword. The only time he runs up to people is if he's in an animal form. The only reason why I've got the sword and the bow staff is in case somebody runs up to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so like really it's just like what the action to draw it, the action to light it on fire, and then the action to swing it.
Yep, and I need to pull that item back up one more time.
Which in D&D would suck, but in Pathfinder that's actually relatively normal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
within Pathfinder it completely functions because that's like how the game is supposed to work.
Markov holds the hat in his hands and he goes back up to Larry Norman. He says, "Can I have a different one?"
Can I do this again, please?
You would
I
like
don't.
a
don't-
different item?
I don't wear hats.
Do you have a receipt?
Oh no!
You have a receipt, mother.
My receipt is that you saw me take it.
Very well.
Meanwhile,
Right.
Zuriel's like standing in the background lighting the sword up.
Just for
Letting it-
fun.
Making lightsaber noises.
I'm getting little bits of obsidian on the ground and it cools, so it's stuck to the floor.
I imagine when Zuriel was originally handed this, he was like, "Oh, I don't use metal weapons," and it's just like, "It's not metal. It's not metal. It's obsidian. Oh,
It's rock. I got a rock.
raw. It's a rock."
Got a rock.
It's like, I got a cool smithing item. I got a hat that turns into a tent. Lights sword on fire and smiles devilishly. I got a rock.
I got a rock.
Meanwhile, Matt is just munching.
Dude, I'm so happy for Rat. That is such a win for him.
It is. Like, as soon as I got that item, I'm like, Rat no longer has to eat out of the trash anymore. Oh my
Yeah.
god, that's a first.
Infinite bread.
Infinite bread.
Infinite bread split.
the
But seriously,
problem
can I
is,
reroll?
Someone says, like, get you that bread, Rat. Rat's like, okay, pulls out the loaf.
Seriously,
Oh,
though, can I reroll?
No! you only get that is such a useful item.
Having a hat that turns into a tent?
A 3-person
Yeah.
tent, yes!
Rat can sleep outside.
That is such a useful item.
I imagine Locke saying that to Markov, and Markov kind of rolls his eyes. He's like, "But I wanted sword."
and then Wander's just like, I can make you a better sword later. Literally, if we find something like a mace or a fucking bow that has a magical material you want and don't lack, I can put it into this as he like tries to lift it and like drops it by accident. Fuck, that's heavy.
It's like the size of like a normal size cup.
Yeah,
th-
that's about the size of a crucible, yeah.
no, the point crucible is considered
Yeah.
heavy.
Oh,
Really?
is it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
let me pull it back up.
Take a
That's what I
picture of
remember
it.
hearing.
A heavy crucible with a large rough rune carved in the bottom. I think this is actually more like a pot-sized crucible.
It
I mean,
know,
is
actually,
it
that
heavy or is it
sounds-
heavy for a crucible? Because they can get heavy.
yeah, they can get
Oh, that's
heavy
fair.
normally. I think
Okay, but it says with a
uh,
large rough rune, which makes me
Yeah.
imply that it's really
Okay.
fucking big.
Yeah,
I
there's
found a really big
ones.
crucible.
Yeah.
So-
Obviously ain't that size.
So Wander just goes like, I can make you a better sword later, like for free.
Can I say
Zuriel's gonna walk up and he's gonna nudge Markov and he's gonna be like, "If it makes you feel better, I'm not humanoid all the time. You can borrow my sword if we ever do the deer thing again. But you
Oh,
Oh
can't
god,
have
that's
it.
terrifying. I love
You
it.
can borrow it. You can borrow it, but you can't have it."
I can live with that.
Okay.
Well, what did Sarge want to say?
Okay. I just wanted to say something really cursed.
Okay.
You have Magic Crockpot now.
Magic crock.
But
Icy Crock-Pot.
I'm going to nickname it the Magic Crockpot now.
I love that.
That's so
Now-
perfect.
Now we cook this here enchanted sword low and slow until the runes render out.
Until the runes are all nice and fluffed up.
Oh shit. Okay, I need to look up so this is where we're going to go ahead and end the session, and I'm going to say that as the weeks go by, Banahaw Port becomes a little bit more stable and a little bit safer. And when we come back next week, I will present to you all 3 different story missions we can then go on to then explore and continue helping out Avmore. In the meantime, the characters get their accommodations set up. They each get their own sort of like very sizable apartments within Banahaw as it's being rebuilt. And I'm going to say, we need to see how much money everyone has. How much money does everybody have?
I have 15 gold.
I no longer have any.
I got 4 gold, 3 silver.
Okay, because the last thing I want to go ahead and give is everyone gets 5 gold.
Cool.
As sort of like a final payment to what is going on. So that we are
Cool.
able to invest in other things if we so choose to.
Sounds good.
All right, I hope
Uh,
everyone...
also-
Go ahead.
Quick question. The item I got, it was the historian's journal?
Yes.
Okay. Wanted to make sure.
So that book only records current history and not someone's past history, right?
But it does
Right.
have a couple of years of a judge with a bunch of different case files built into them.
Okay.
You know, just in case we want to do our detective thing.
Listen, just listen. You bust that journal out, and we could roll to make an argument that you know about a case that happened years ago.
Like, nah, it was a really well-known case. Of course this judge would know. And there it is.
There it is.
And he only wrote, why does everyone care so much about this? My mistress has just found out that I'm actually not rich and I'm about to lose everything. Okay, never mind.
It's like,
That's not
well-
Oh, right.
Meanwhile, the I can't think of her name all of a sudden. Raspberry Stitch just goes, wait, open that up. That was getting juicy.
She wants her dramas, damn it.
Listen, she's not fully a saint. She likes a little bit of drama,
As most old women do.
a little bit of spice. But yeah, this is where we'll go ahead and end today's session with a good amount of prep and cool items. I will put in and create your magical items appropriately, and then next week I will propose the 3 different storylines. I think we're all agreeing to just have simple living quarters instead of working on trying to have side businesses, which is very fine.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for being here. This was a lot of fun.
I had a lot of fun.
Always.
Glad to be here.
And then
Also, I have to say, because otherwise it'll rot in my brain. Oh, hi, Markov.
oh, hi, Markov.
Markov picks you up by the throat.
And then we are gonna go ahead. I'm gonna double check here and see if it's viable, but I think we're gonna go ahead and raid. Oh, well, hold on. She might actually be ending her.
I feel pretty
stream
proud.
soon.
I think I'm the only one that Markov hasn't picked up either by the neck or the scruff of the neck.
To be fair,
That could be changed.
Markov reached through the 4th wall to choke me. So
He's that powerful.
I'm just so happy. Like, listen, I love the item that Wander got. I just really am happy for Rat and his loaf.
His bread.
It's just so
Rat has
cute.
bread.
So happy about my rock.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and raid Auburn Girl. I'm gonna make sure that we have enough people worth raiding with. Yeah, okay, we do. So thank you all for being here. The VODs for these sessions are gonna start going up here pretty soon. I'll be putting up the first one later today, In the meantime, give some love to Auburn and have a good rest of your day, everybody. Bye!
Bye.
Bye.
What the fuck I was even typing, honestly. I couldn't even see what I was typing. No!
Also, can I just say,
Basil,
I
was
just
about
realized
to rage
what we
you.
ended up actively making
knew it.
with
I
Larry
had your
Norman.
stream up. I swear to
He's
God.
Ron Swanson.
He's Ron Swanson.
Like, that combination of characteristics